The thing is, what I'm trying to say, the point is...
The thing is, what I'm trying to say, the point is, the parrot is dead. Dead?
The thing is,
what I'm trying to say,
what I'm trying to say,
the parrot is dead.
The parrot is dead. Dead.
Deceased, etc. All the euphemisms.
Is this a joke?
Is this a joke?
Of course not. Parrot jokes aren't funny, they're very repetitive.
They're very repetitive. Parrot jokes aren't funny.
Well, I don't believe you.
You don't have to.
But I know the parrot isn't dead because it's me. I'm here. I'm Parrot. I don't believe you. How do you know?
How do you know?
Well, I can tell I'm not dead. I think it would be obvious if I was.
How do you know?
To me, at least. Are you listening?
Are you listening?
Are you listening? I've been paying more attention to my fingernails than usual. I bought one of those little nail scrubbing brushes I haven't used since I was a child. I'm noticing the rate at which my fingernails grow, what colour they are, what collects underneath them. You'll be interested to know I've been gardening more too, at least as much as you can without a garden, so perhaps it has something to do with that.
Sorry, what does this have to do with anything?
Sorry.
What colour they are, what collects underneath them.
My personal hygiene is particularly good at the moment.
I bought one of
My
those
nails are really clean.
nail scrubbing brushes.
What? I decided to take my nail varnish off, so now I have bare nails for the first time in years.
They look like someone else's hands.
Not this again. What?
Oh, not this again.
Testing.
Testing.
Shh.
Just start from the beginning. It was in a dream.
It was yesterday, or it was last week, or...
It was just now.
I was sitting there.
And I was
I can
sitting
picture
there.
it now, and I was doing nothing, and all I was doing was staring out the window. Dead quiet. I saw Parrot outside, or Parrot saw me.
I saw you first, sitting.
I saw you there.
Staring.
I was in the garden.
I was in the garden.
He was in the garden.
Alien.
A vision.
A vision.
Apparition. Too heavy for the feeder. Hanging off it, lopsided.
It's empty. What?
It's empty.
What?
The bird feeder, it's empty.
Well, that's because there's nothing in it. I watched the neighbours' birds.
They all talk about you, you know.
Who?
The neighbours. Gossips and curtain.
The neighbours? I don't know the neighbours.
I know you don't know them. We've never even met
face to face.
They say she's a bit
odd. I keep myself to myself.
You keep yourself to yourself. You never open your curtains, and they think you're weird.
They think you're weird. Well, based on what I've heard, I don't like them either. Strange chattering through the walls.
You've just got no neighbourly spirit at all.
The neighbours are shouting, laughing, fucking, sometimes all at once.
You've just got no neighbourly spirit.
They hate each other. I hate them too.
We've never even met face to face.
Got no need for neighbours.
Gossips and curtain twitches.
Got
no needs. That's your problem. Strange chattering.
I hoovered and dusted very thoroughly 4 weeks ago, so now I know that any dust that has collected since has been the sum of my body's production in the last month.
The sum of my body's production.
Anyway, I was sat at the window.
Gossips and curtain.
The garden's usually empty. Usually it's just me. Right. So I was sitting there this time, the other day, or whenever it was, quite quiet, and Parrot tapped on my window. Have I got your attention?
Have I got your attention?
He asked if he could come in, I think. Can I have your attention?
Can I have your attention?
I said, of course. Why not? The window wouldn't open all the way, but he wanted to come in, I could tell. He basically said as much, so
based on what I've heard.
I just reached out, grabbed a wing and dragged him through.
Grabbed a wing and dragged him through? But he wanted to come in, I could tell.
Have you ever had a bird from outside suddenly be inside your house? They grow twice as big all of a sudden, inflated by the walls. All of a sudden, this bird which looked beautiful from a distance is now festering and grotesque and scrabbling spread eagle about my ceiling.
Not eagle, parrot.
Not eagle, parrot, sorry, clawing at the artex.
Clawing at the artex?
He got caught on the lampshade, so I grabbed at him, grabbed at the wing, tried to hold him still, but he just wriggled and wriggled, not in the mood for a cuddle.
Terrible theatre noise it was. He made all these sounds from
his belly I'd never heard. Never heard anything like it. Broke right through my silence.
All of a sudden, your house.
Flapping around, he started picking up noises to play with. Did a great impression of the fridge, floorboards, flushing toilet. The kettle wouldn't stop boiling. It was as if the house was alive.
Never known
anything like it. Barely able to contain himself.
I never heard anything like it. It broke right through my silence.
Tea for two. The milk has split. Sorry, I haven't got any food, I said, after he'd calmed down a bit. I wasn't expecting guests. No bother.
No bother.
I'll have a go on this banana.
Nibbles in the corner of the room.
It's rotten.
It's rotten.
It's good enough.
It's good enough.
I don't mind that it's gone soft and black. In fact, I like it that way. I can't get rid of these fruit flies. They're everywhere. They breed quicker than I can kill them.
No bother.
I don't even eat bananas at home. I don't know why I keep buying them.
You said was.
Let's go halves. Two's up.
But you meant is.
Parrot couldn't talk then. Not yet, but I think he asked me... Should I stay?
Can
I stay for a bit? Bored, I thought. Well, okay, just for a bit. I could do with a friend.
This was all before he could speak.
That took some doing, getting the chat going. All small talk in the beginning.
That's an interesting accent you've got.
Whose? Mine. Which one?
Which one?
Where's it from? The accent?
The accent? I don't know.
I don't know. Picked it up. I pick things up.
Pick things up?
My parents ran a pet shop and their parents before that, so I knew what I was doing, more or less, and I trained him up, bit by bit. He was very good. You're very good.
You're very, very good.
Pretty soon I got a good response.
Very good listener.
Parrot was a very good listener.
Is.
What?
You said was, but you meant is.
You meant is.
Okay, good
listener,
fast
learner.
It took
a long time to get through my entire vocabulary. Parrot had to study me closely, and I'll be honest, it's the first time in my life I'd been noticed like that. Noticed with intent. That kind of attention is addictive. So he was always watching me, observing over my shoulder. A bird's eye view of whatever I was doing, reading, watching.
Good listener.
No privacy. I had absolutely no privacy, and I absolutely loved it.
And I absolutely loved it.
Sometimes you can just feel eyes on you without even looking up. Anyway, the point is, the more attention Parrot paid to me, the more attention I paid to myself. I became more and more conscious of myself. For example, I noticed my eyebrows for the first time. It was a Tuesday, I think, or a Thursday. I always get those confused. And there was one big, thick hair, a bit longer than the rest of them on my left eyebrow, so I gave it a little tug. Out it came with very little resistance. Once I'd done one, I noticed another, and well, soon enough it got a bit out of hand. It was out of my hands. I just plucked them all out, one hair at a time. Pluck, 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 until suddenly they'd all gone. Basically nothing. And then I worked my way from basically nothing to completely disappeared. The whole project took about 20 minutes, but when I came up for air it was like waking from a nap. I asked Parrot what he thought. What do you think? He ignored me. I guess I was barely recognisable.
What do you think?
I liked it. I liked the way my new skin felt, even though it was sore, and pretty soon it wasn't enough to pluck it bare. I became very focused on catching the growing hairs at their first presentation, to the point where I would use the sharp end of the tweezers to more or less dig the prospective hair from its follicle. My brow was punctuated by all these red dots, which then, of course, I would pick.
What does this have to do with
What does
anything?
this have to do with anything?
Well, the point is, the better Parrot got at talking,
Well, the thing is...
the worse he got at listening. And I've never been a particularly good listener either. I've got very little
And
patience.
I've never been a particularly good listener.
They talk
either.
about you, you know.
I've got very little patience.
I'm a lengthy monologue. Acceptable circumstances to recite your monologue. In therapy, drunk, or on stage, it's all the same to me. In therapy, drunk, or on stage, it's all the same. Ha, ha.
Very little patience. The worse you go always interrupting each other. Just waiting
No.
for our turn to
Wow.
talk.
Always interrupting each other, just
No.
waiting
Ha.
for our
Not
turn
much.
to talk.
Never disagreed much though,
though.
did we, Parrot?
Did we, Parrot? No. Well,
We always
No.
knew what the other
No.
one needed to hear. I couldn't imagine we'd ever be one of those couples who ran out of things to
couldn't
say.
imagine. Is there a point to this?
What do you mean?
Is there a point?
No,
Do you have a point?
no.
No. This story is very tedious.
I know. I'm not much of a storyteller. Parrot became bored.
Boring people get
Boredom
bored.
is just waiting.
Free floating, waiting.
Waiting.
Boredom
waiting
is just
for what?
waiting. Waiting for what?
Waiting for anticipation. Anyway, Parrot was bored, wanted his own
Wanted his own
mirror.
mirror.
I thought,
Wanted his own.
why not?
mirror.
He's always liked shiny
I thought-
things, so I showed him one, gave him his own.
But
But the thing is, he got really into the mirror.
He
He loved it. He loved
Loved
it so much, but he had no idea what he was looking at. He had no idea what
he
a
had no
parrot
idea
was.
what a parrot was.
I had to say, and I wish I hadn't, look, that's
No,
you, that's Parrot.
you. Look, that's Parrot.
Well, not parrot, but a reflection of parrot.
Parrot in reverse. He shut up for a second to take it all in. I realised then that the reason he didn't recognise himself was because all he'd ever known was the version of himself that I had taught him. So when he got to know himself, when he realised we were separates, well, all hell broke loose.
He became obsessed.
He became
completely
obsessed, completely obsessed with his own
Not
reflection,
Parrot, but a reflection of Parrot.
struggling to navigate it because, well, I know now that there's no centre or edge to a parrot's worldview. Because of the way his eyes are, you know, one on each side. He couldn't see the whole of himself at once. He could only see each side
He could
with
only
each
see
eye,
side,
one part of
one
himself at a time.
And so that was that.
And so that was that.
That was what?
That.
It.
It. All the conversation had dried up. All he wanted to do was take himself in, turning left to right, this way and that, regarding himself in two halves. Well, I'll be honest with you. I got a bit jealous.
You get like that.
You get like that. I know.
Very possessive.
I know.
Very controlling.
I know. Anyway, let's cut a long story short now. Parrot is dead. He's what? You'll just have to accept it.
He's dead.
Back in the flat.
What?
Flat on his back.
What happened?
It's not important.
Well, you've just cut out a big plot point there. It doesn't make sense.
I'm not much of a storyteller. My nails have gotten really long, and if they get too long, I start to bite them, so I cut them with some nail scissors, but I went too close to the quick, and now my fingers feel swollen and tender around the edges.
What does that have to do with anything?
The thing is, what I'm trying to say is
It's gone too far.
it's gone too far now, and I don't know how to end it.
Endings are very difficult.
I know. So the parrot is dead, stuffed, and nailed to the perch.
Is this a joke?
No,
So it's over?
it's not you, it's me.
I don't believe you.
It's me.
I think the cat was boiled.
The milk is split.